Well, hi. Okay. Nope. What is up, chat? Do you have fully grown adult teeth and baby teeth still in at the same time? Is that a thing? Whoa, we're 50-50ing in chat. We had no, 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 then yes, no, yes, yes, of course. Yes, no, no, yes, no. Are you referencing the Invisalign post on Reddit today? Yeah. You can get Invisalign for baby teeth. Or like while you still have baby teeth. Somebody said, people seem to don't understand, good one, that you can have both adult and baby tooth at the same time. I mean, yeah, but I feel like your adult teeth aren't fully grown in when you still have baby teeth, but maybe I don't remember. I don't know. Damn. Did you know that you can grow a third set of teeth? What, in your puss? Got him. What? Do people not remember this? Hold on, I saw a post this morning. Did Trump just sucker in a bunch of leftists with that Mamdani appearance? He even said that Bernie got dropped unfairly line. Was this all a pre-calculated move? I didn't see a single person point this out, but Trump has said that for a long time. Like that was the super lefty narrative for the 2016 election, was that Bernie was robbed, and Trump ran with that, but it was to attack Hillary. I don't know how people don't remember this. Trump carried that talking point through the 2020 election. I think he's used it a bit in 2024, not as much, but he said that for like a decade. I don't know how people just completely forgot this or don't. This guy, it has always been like this. 0 points. Got him. I want to thank you. Just watched the Vibe coding VOD, and I think all my trepidation of getting back into coding is gone. If Rating can get paid for that shit, so can I. Good luck. You can do it, buddy. I believe in you.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I love her. You smell like baby. You smell like little booty. I love your little booty. I'm sorry. Please don't cancel me. He just does that sometimes, I swear. He does that when fully raw. I did no collar. He's fully naked, fully raw. I didn't reach out of frame. I didn't do anything, please. He just does that.
You're never going to see what that video was. It was crazy too. Jesus. That was the biggest shot caller thing I've ever seen in my entire life. What's the difference between sleeping and hibernating? I thought, don't both of these save your session a disk? What's the difference between sleep versus hibernate? Sleep is memory, hibernate is disk. Interesting.
Are you shitting my dick? Part 9 of me responding to people who are freaking out about hibernation not being precisely sleep. I am fascinated by this. Who is getting into your brains, Generation Z, and making you freak out about this one particular slight simplification? Like, there are all kinds of things that you learn in science class that are a little bit like species are two animals that, like, if you can't have fertile offspring, then you're two different species. Sorry, that's not right, actually, turns out. Electrons go around the nucleus. No, they don't do that. That's not what they do. Bears go into a cave and then they close their eyes and they don't open their eyes until...
Okay, wait. I don't know when the science changed on this. I don't know when the science changed on when we decided electrons don't fly around in an orbit or whatever versus like having some appearance in an area. I can understand that there are reasons why you simplify some models, but sometimes things are like, why even say that? Like, why do we need, why do we ever have to learn electrons as though they're like orbiting the nucleus? Like, is there ever a time in science class where you're like, okay, it's useful to think of an electron as like a moon that orbits a planet? Like, why not just say like, oh, like the electrons like hang out in this zone in here and here? Like, why do you have to learn, why do we even learn it like that? It helps with visualizing things. It's for retarded fat people. Okay. Nice. All right.
Well, the winter is over. They might get up to pee like a couple of times, maybe. Is it physiologically a little bit different from sleep? Yeah. Yes. This is not something you need to worry about. You're fine. You're doing great.
Oh, Kyla debated Leela on abortion. Oh boy. How did that go?
Before we begin,
They got 2 hours to debate. What the fuck?
I would like to share
Oh. 17? Why?
Oh fuck. It's like needles all fucked up.
Jeff Epstein just tipped $4. Yo, my nigga, I hear you got the plug for those fresh Stacy's.
Shut
Hit me
the
up,
fuck up.
nigga. I'm chilling here in Tel Aviv if you ever want to party.
Dude, I can already see clips. Clav injects meth on a... think they're going crazy.
Chat, we're looks maxing her. It's all good. Doctor.
Before we begin, I would
What's happening? I don't know. Apparently he's injecting her with filler or something? Ugh. Ugh. It's Aqualix fat dissolving injections. Gross.
There's 25% of Americans who believe that they know somebody who was killed by a COVID vaccine. Killed? Killed. 25% of Americans, 52% of Americans believe that.
Wait, sorry, what?
There's 25% of Americans who believe that they know somebody who was killed by a COVID vaccine.
You should get, what was that one song? We are Charlie Kirk. Just listen to how fucking stupid this stat is. Listen how fucking stupid what he just said was. This is the most worthless stat thing I've ever heard in my life. Listen to what he's saying. He's saying 25% of Americans, okay, believe they know someone, okay, that died to a COVID. Believe that. What the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck? What does that even mean?
There's 25% of Americans who believe that they know somebody who was killed by a COVID vaccine. Killed?
What does that even mean? Hello?
Killed 25% of Americans. 52% of Americans believe that the vaccines are causing injuries, including death. 52%.
I wonder why, you subhuman, disgusting fuck.
Oh, if you look at the clinical trial studies, the actual studies that were done that were released of the Pfizer vaccine, Moderna has not released it. If you look at the Pfizer vaccine, there were 22,000 people in the placebo group, 22,000 people who got the actual vaccine. And the people who got the vaccine had a 23% higher death rate from all causes at the end of that study.
But that could not be the.
How would you even, why would you be doing all-cause mortality analysis on a comparative vaccine? Wait, what is he even referencing? Why would you even be looking at these? What? I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's referencing. I don't even.
And the people who got the vaccine had a 23% higher death rate from all causes.
The people who got the vaccine had a 23%. There's so many. I'm sorry. Okay.
At the end of that study.
But that could not be the disease itself?
No, well.
Because we know that.
If it is, then the vaccine doesn't work, does it?
Well, it's certainly. Well, no. That's not.
Why the fuck is XQC doing misinformation correction? What? What study are they referencing? Wrong. He makes numbers sound scary, but they really aren't. The total study participants was 44,000. Total number of deaths after the full trial was 38. 21 to 17. Vaccinated being the 21. Those four could have gone either way. They're an artifact. That's not enough for scientific conclusion. Oh, that's interesting. I think he's intuiting the correct answer, but he's not using the correct terms. You would need, this would be like a stat analysis, like for a p-value or something or whatever. Like you wouldn't be able to assert like with a high confidence that you're measuring something real here because the number of deaths is so low or something, right? There's stat terms that you can say this to be more intelligent, but. So at worst, it proves the vax led to increased deaths, and at best, it proves the vax is ineffective. No. This is the study that he's referencing. In an ongoing placebo-controlled, observer-blinded, multinational, pivotal efficacy trial, we randomly assigned 44,165 participants, 16 and older, and 2,264 participants, 12 to 15 years of age, received 2 doses at 21 days apart of this or placebo. The trial endpoints were vaccine efficacy against laboratory-confirmed COVID-19 and safety, which were both evaluated through 6 months after vaccination. God damn. This was for the very first rollout, wasn't it? September 15th, 2021. Vaccine efficacy against severe disease was 96.7%. I think that means if you had to be hospitalized, like against hospitalization. Stop. The location feature has suddenly been turned off on X with no explanation. America First. Account based in Bangladesh. MAGA Scope. Account based in Nigeria. Doge Designer. Account based in India. Russian Army. Account based in India. Captive Dreamer. Account based in Papua New Guinea. Wait, are these, is it still turned on or do they turn it off now? Can you see like account origin or about? They really turned it off? After an hour? Why? What was the reason for turning it off? No explanation given? Maybe that means there was a bug or something and they're going to turn it back on soon? Retard Finder. Account based in Australia. Shitpost.mp4. Account based in Spain. Ian Miles Chong. We already knew this. From Malaysia. The incredible history of Native Americans is full of things that are not in the books and are not taught in schools. So stay with us for more story. Account based in Bangladesh. In the American Civil War, Confederates were the good guys. Account based in Serbia. Israel exposed. Account based in Saudi Arabia. Atom Media. Account based in the United Kingdom. MAGA Nation. Account based in Eastern Europe. The MAGA Beacon, South Asia. Dark MAGA Coin, the United Kingdom. Israel exposed, Saudi Arabia, saw that. Suppressed News, North Africa. Wow, Illuminator, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. The one 2 accounts ago was Thailand. Oh, he joined from the UK, but it's based in Thailand. Ooh, I wonder if that means he used a VPN to create the account in the UK, but the IP most frequently associated with it is a Thailand IP. Or can you see this information for yourself? But Twitter note said it's not possible to see other besides yourself. Well, they turned this feature on for a little bit and then apparently they turned it off. There is no Republicans against Trump. Date join, January 2020 in Austria. Bum, bum, bum. Why'd they cut off the associated with part? Go to the next line. Bring it back. Wow, Luminary, thank you for the 1 gifted sub. Isn't this the wrong account, though? Republicans against Trump, x.com. Destiny, there is a level 1 retard explanation, a level 2 median IQ explanation, and a level 3 Hackerman explanation for the account origins. See if you can get them all. Are you distinguishing between account origins and account associated with? If I had to guess, the level 1 retard explanation, and I've even seen some people in here saying it, maybe they use a VPN. Why would you regularly surf the internet on a VPN associated with another country? I don't understand why you would do that. especially for a social media. They just I don't know, maybe that, but I don't immediately know why that would be the case. The level 2 IQ explanation would be, wow, a lot of these people are in Bangladesh or other countries, and they're pretending to be American. And then the level 3 explanation is that all of these accounts are probably Russian or Chinese, and they just use VPNs in other countries that have less restrictive access to their VPN services. That would be my guesses for the 3. If you pay for iCloud or whatever, iPhones are like 99% of the time on a VPN, by the way. That's the main explanation why you see a lot of regular accounts with VPN icon for based in the US. But your iPhone isn't going to default to a VPN across the ocean. Not VPNs. They pay people from poorer countries to be trolls for them. I don't know. I feel like the technology is sophisticated enough that you would do it yourself now, that you wouldn't rely on other third-party people. There are a lot of accounts like Republicans Against Trump that show location as American, but with a VPN warning. Where were you when you created your Twitter account? I have no fucking idea. Does it tell me? Can I log in and check? What the fuck? Date joined February 2021, Mexico. Account based in United States. Was I out of town in February 2021? Wait, did I make this account when I was in Cancun with Melina? There's no way, right? Year. Calendar 2021. February. Huh. I don't think so. Oh, I might have been using a VPN while ban evading. Because 2021, I don't know if I was officially unbanned from Twitter yet. So that was probably why. You were in Cancun the first week of February 2021, according to your schedule. Yeah, I probably made the account while I was in Mexico because I needed a shit post in Cancun. Was I in Cancun? I didn't see it on my calendar, but okay.
It's time.
All right.
Stop.
It's time, sir. If I chose to, my brothers, I could view the movie Wicked for Good as a movie about how a black woman has to mute herself, how a black woman has to play the villain, how a black woman has to be outcast, how a black woman has to be burned, how a black woman's magic has to be overlooked, misused, and taken for granted.
Talk to him, Brother Lathan.
How a black woman has to be less than for a white woman to rule. For a white woman to be looked at, a white woman with no magic, a white woman with no talent, a white woman whose only talent is being a white woman. Brother, can I get an amen for this?
Amen.
Brother, can I get a hand clap for this? A white woman who never, ever amounted to anything except for a pretty smile. And now what is she? The ruler of the entire town, while a black woman is outcasted to the land of nothingness. I'm saying right now, wicked for good is wicked for bad.
Okay.
Despicable behavior of his career.
Hey, Mr. Officer Maloney, Police Department. Hey, whose alcohol's in the vehicle?
No, open container, bro. What are you doing?
Just picked her up from down the road. So my partner said she saw open bottles of alcohol. Are you kidding me? Huh? Are you kidding me? She just straight up backhanded this kid.
What?
It's America. We can't hit our kids anymore? What?
She just straight up backhanded that child. You see a mark on him?
D-Man, I'm tuning in live from the tree stand. If I get a deer, this one's for you, gangsta. Wow.
Which side of the face?
Smack.
You will not be having.
I mean, we didn't even see what the baby was doing. Maybe the baby deserved it. Sorry. Mary Tiles, Texas. Date joined, September 2022 in Russia. Destiny, they're most likely relying on IP registration with something like Aaron. That isn't always correct. And if you go back to a previous time, what is registered now isn't always what it was registered as before. There isn't a reliable way to know exact country from an internet connection. I don't understand what do we have a name for this concept yet? People do this to me all the time, and I swear to God, it's just to trigger me. Like, imagine I get a group of 50 people in my office, and we're going to do like some exercise fitness challenge, and some trainer is going to come over and work with me, and it's like a panel of like 10 trainers, and they're like, you can shoot over one number to help us get an idea of your clientele, and I just shoot the BMI over of all 100 people, and all the BMIs are like 38 to 42. Like, I feel like half the people in chat, like 9 of the 10 trainers be like, okay, well, these people are fat as fuck. We need to get on some kind of calorie restrictive diet, and we need to start doing some basic, resistance training and cardio. Let's go. And then one of you guys, and I say what, like the one trainer, 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 10, it would be half of my chat would be like, well, actually, it is possible that if you were to, for instance, measure the BMI of elite level powerlifters, you would actually find that some of them could actually be in the obese category. But if you were to actually, do a DEX scan on them, you would actually see that they're actually quite lean. So this is actually a really fucking retarded way to even get an idea of a snapshot of these people's overall level of fitness. So is like geolocating IPs using several different methods like always reliable? No, obviously. It's not necessarily 100% reliable. But if you pull 1,000 propaganda accounts and 980 of them are from enemy countries, and you're like, the Aaron registration might not always... Thank you, Chief. Registered. Okay, I'll go ahead and file that in shit that doesn't fucking matter to this conversation. Thank you. The most boring video ever made. 1 hour, 47 minutes.
Welcome to the Mac Academy tutorial system presented by Florida Marketing International Incorporated.
Hello, and welcome to Mac Academy. My name is Randy Smith, and over the next couple of hours, we'll be discussing Microsoft Word. We'll be going over the basics of that program. I'd like to welcome each of you to this tape and also to the Mac Academy.
Is this DHS one real? That'd be pretty funny. With honor and integrity, we will safeguard the American people, our homeland, and our values. For joined, I could see an account joining from a lot of different areas for just a variety of stupid reasons. My guess is going to be, though, that based in one is like which IPs are you most frequently associated with logging in from? That's kind of weird. What is the Israel Android app? What the fuck does that mean? It shows that for every country? Oh, just like what region's app store you use, basically?
Academy organization. I'd like to spend, before we dig right into the program, I'd like to spend a few minutes and talk about some of the differences between word processing on the Macintosh computer, word processing perhaps that you're used to on IBMs and IBM compatibles, or some of the earlier programs for the Macintosh. You'll see it's called Randy's Ready Reference. All you do is double click on the application, and you will get a blank piece of paper, or if you have already done a document, as I have
blank
here,
piece of
all
paper.
you need to do is double click, and that will launch that application, and you'll be able to start working in that. So here we go. As you can see, this is a regular letter in Word, and I'm going to go through some of the pull-down menus. The way to remember a pull-down menu is to kind of think back of the old blinds like your grandmother had. You used to reach up in the window and you'd pull that blind down. The exciting thing about the Macintosh and Microsoft is that as you pull down each of these menus, most of the words are in English. You'll recognize them. They're not some computer command. And I'm not going to go through each of the pull-down menus right now because we'll be using them in the next couple of hours, but I would like to spend a minute on the File menu. As I pull down the File menu, you'll notice some words that you'll recognize. There's New, Open, Close, Save, Save As, Delete, on down to Quit.
Okay.
You'll also notice opposite some of the commands there will be a little symbol that looks like a four-leaf clover.
Wow.
And a letter.
Most replayed. Hold on. What's this?
And that is how to select an odd grouping of words. Let's say, for example, that you would like to select 5 words, or you'd like to select a paragraph and a half or a page and a half.
Okay.
The way to do that is to simply click where you would like the selection to start. Now in this case I want it to start right before the word I, and then go down and click where you want it to stop. But if I clicked right now, it would just simply move the cursor to that point, so I have to do something else.
What?
So to make that selection, simply click where you want it to start, go down to where you want it to stop, and hold your Shift key down as you make the second click.
Whoa!
And you will notice it selects everything in between those two spots. So once again, click where you want it to start, and go down to where you want your selection to stop, hold the Shift key down, and click the second time, and it will click in between those two spots. You'll find that that comes in really handy when you want to select something like a page and a half. You simply click where you want it to start, and then scroll through to the second page. And as you get to the point where you want it to stop, then you can hold the Shift key down and click, and it will select everything in between those 2 points. Okay, that's selecting. Now everything else that I'm going to teach you in this 2-hour tape is based on selecting. You've always got to select first and tell the computer this is what I'd like to have you work on. Okay, the next function is called deleting. I want to take something out of my document, and it is extremely simple. Deleting is simply select and then hit your backspace key. On some of your computers it says backspace on your key, it's up in the upper right hand corner. Some of them it says delete, it's the same key. Alright, so right here we've got Word Workshop. If I would like to get rid of the word workshop, I simply select it and hit my backspace key. Select backspace key. If I wanted to get rid of my entire document right now, all I'd have to do is select the entire document, hit my backspace key, and it would all be gone.
Jesus.
Now, for example, if I would like to delete this paragraph, I simply select it and hit my backspace key. Now, sooner or later, you're going to be using the Macintosh and you're going to do that, and then you're going to wish you didn't do that. It's called repentance, I guess. And they knew that was going to happen, and so they put in a nice little feature. Now, you'll notice I just deleted my first paragraph, and all of a sudden I decided I really didn't want to do that.
Wow.
If you will go up under the Edit menu, you will find a nice little command called undo. Now, if I select undo, you will notice that my paragraph comes back.
Yeah, wait, the face cam in the corner? This guy's like the first fucking streamer. What the fuck?
The undo feature.
Holy
I decided
shit.
that what I need in life is an undo button. Whenever I do anything really dumb, I simply push undo and start over again. Well, it works on the Macintosh, but it doesn't work in life. Let me just tell you something about the undo button, and that is it will only remember the last function that you did. You cannot go back and say, remember that paragraph I deleted about 6 minutes ago? It only remembers the last function that you did, and it will allow you to bring that back. So that's the undo feature.
Okay.
That's deleting in Microsoft Word. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do is inserting. Now, what that means is I want to put copy into my document, or I want to type some copy. And again, it is extremely easy. It is simply click and type. So right now, if I want to put the word workshop into my document, I simply type, click where I want it to go, and type it in. Now, of course, the nice thing about word processing is that I could type in 29 pages at this point, and it would just keep scrolling my document down and adding all the copy. All right, so we've gone through deleting and we've gone through inserting. Now, I want to combine those two into the next function, and that is deleting and inserting at the same time. You're going to want to do that a lot because that's how you correct copy. For example, if you put in an O and it should have been an I, you're going to want to take the O out and put the I in. So let's go through deleting and inserting. Now, two ways you could do it. You could do it the long way, and that is you could highlight what you don't want and push the delete key.
Okay.
And then you could type in what you do want.
Okay.
As I just showed you. Now, that's kind of a long way to do it. Microsoft Word allows you to do both of them with one function.
How?
And that is simply highlight what you don't want and type in what you do want. So remember to delete and insert at the same time. Highlight what it is or select what it is that you do not want and simply type in what you do want. Highlight what you don't want, type in what you do want. So if it's just one letter, move it to the left. This is officially called a hanging indent, by the way. Sounds like something you get on your foot. Now watch what I mean. If I move the entire margin over to the left, I can reach up and take the top part of that margin and move it back. Or excuse me, we moved it all to the right. Now I can take the top margin and move it to the left, and I end up with something that looks like that.
Holy shit.
You say, well, that's really nice, but why would I ever use it? Some of you that have been trying to do this see an immediate use for it. So again, watch what I've done. I've moved the top line to the left of the rest. When would we use that? Well, let me give you a good example.
Yeah.
Let's say right now we were going to do a lease for a piece of property.
Okay.
Now let's just pretend right now that we've got people standing there in front of us and we're over on our Macintosh and we're going to type out the rules to living in our property. So we sit down and we say the following are the rules for living in my house. Number one, I want you to keep your crummy dog off of my brand new carpet.
Okay.
Carpet. If you don't, I will shoot
God
both
damn.
you.
Is that a Model M?
And your.
He's even got a mechanical keyboard. Jesus.
There.
Are we okay?
Okay, then you go down to number two. Okay, now a lot of you have had the opportunity of printing a document that needs something like this. You've used 1, 2, 3, 4, some nesting, or you've used A, B, C, D, or a lot of you've used bullets. Now, realistically, when you typed your document is...
Oh, yeah, way back in the day. I think I was like the last group of people that got taught this. They taught us in school that when you're typing properly, after stops, after periods, you put 2 spaces. I don't know when they stopped teaching that, but I remember learning that in school.
Is this what you wanted it to look like? It isn't. What you wanted is you wanted the 1 and the 2 to line up nice and even, and then you wanted all your words to line up nice and straight. Now, let me just mention something to you here for a moment. A lot of you, when you started Microsoft Word, went in and tried to make this happen. And how did you make it happen? Well, most of you figured out, well, there's got to be a way to force that line over. So let me show you what a lot of you did. First thing that you did, you said, well, I know what I'll do. I'll just click in front of carpet here, and then I'll hit my space bar. Now, when you hit your space bar, and you may not be able to see my space bar right now, but it freezes up. Nothing happens. And you say, well, that's all right. What I'll do is hit my tab key. Now, when you hit your tab key, you get something like that. You say, well, that's not a problem either. What I'll do now is I'll just hit my backspace key. So when you hit your backspace key, then it goes right back to where it was. And about now is when people start getting frustrated. So what I have found most people did to make this happen is you typed your first line of copy. You anticipated when your second line of copy was going to jump down on the next line. You did a manual carriage return, and then you spaced it over one at a time and tried to line it up.
That's
Had a lady
crazy.
the other day tell me it took her 4 hours to do 2 pages, 1 through 10, trying to line it up. Now, you can do it that way if you'd like, but watch this. All you have to do is select your copy and go over and say, okay, I want my words to line up there, and I would like my numbers to line up there, and you've got an automatic exactly what you wanted, which you'll all find is extremely easy. Now let me just mention, I did that kind of the long way just so that you could see how it worked, and that is I grabbed the whole margin and moved it over, and then I grabbed the left-hand margin and moved it back. There's a simpler way to do that, and that is if you would like to move the bottom table right now, let's say this was a sales report, and this first one is for January, and we go over to our 2-inch tab mark, and this is for Susan. Now the next thing I want to do is put a column of numbers, and I don't know how many of you have tried to make a column of numbers line up in Microsoft Word.
Impossible.
It's almost impossible to make them line up evenly. You'll start getting a wavy line unless you use the decimal tab. The only way to get a column of numbers to line up in Word is to use the decimal tab, and that's the 4th tab right here. So we're going to have a column of numbers. Let's select the decimal tab, go up and say we would like that column at the 4-inch mark. Now when I tab over there, it will allow me to type in the numbers. So I type in 112. Then we go down to February. And this is still Susan's sales. She sold $89 in February. And now we'll go down to March, and Susan sold $212. And in April, Susan sold $41.
Good job, Susan. Well,
okay,
not
now
for
you will
April.
notice that my numbers line up exactly because of the tab mark, or the decimal tab setting. You don't even have to put decimals, by the way. If you just want to put whole numbers, it takes it for granted that there is a tab after the last whole number. So that's the way that you use the tab settings. That's the way you line up numbers. Now, while I have got this open at this point, I'd like to show you another feature of Microsoft Word, and that is, wouldn't it be nice while we had this if we could make Microsoft Word add the column of numbers? Now, the new 4.0 not only adds, it subtracts, multiplies, and divides, which we've taught. I've only ever had one person raise their hand and say, I did. And I said, how did you get it off? And he said, I used whiteout. So let me show you how to get that page number off.
Okay.
First key to getting the page number off your document is that you have to make sure your margins are showing. So you have to click on that third icon. You will notice that when you click on that third icon, it puts a little box around the page number. Now that the little box is on the page number, you can pull that little box off the screen, and when you reformat your document, you will notice that the page number has disappeared.
Whoa!
So again, click on the second icon that puts the margin symbols, the margin lines, then go down to the page number that has a little box on it, pull that page number off the screen, and when you reformat your document, you will notice that the page number has now disappeared. All right, that's how to work in page preview. So now let's cancel that and let's go back to our document. You'll notice now that our document is ready to print. Now, let me give you a few keys to printing, and I won't show you this on the screen, but I'll just tell you the steps that you need to go through, and I'll poke through some of them here on the screen.
What's up?
The new 4.0 has eliminated a couple of the steps that I'm going to tell you. I'll walk through all of them for some of you folks that might still have 3.02. Some of you may have noticed that you spent a great deal of time on your document and you got your formatting just right. You got your margins set just where you want them. You had all your tabs set just right. And then at the last minute, you'll say, I want my document to look really good. I'm going to go print this on a laser printer. And you'll go down to your Apple store, or you'll go to another department in your company, and you'll stick the disk in the laser printer in another computer there, and it'll print out, and all your formatting has gone all skewampus on it. Everything's
I hate it
all
when
over
that
the place.
happens.
And this gets really frustrating, and some people think that it was something wrong with the second computer. The reason that this happens is that the image writer has a printing surface, or a printing area, that is actually 1/2 inch larger than the printing area on a laser printer. Now, if you think about that for a minute, if you have formatted your document for an image writer, and it's utilized all that space, when it goes to the laser printer, it's got to change your formatting. So let me show you a step-by-step procedure. As soon as you know what printer you're going to print your document on, if you'll go through the step-by-step procedure, then your formatting will remain intact no matter which printer you print it on. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to take you through all the steps for any 3.02 people out there, and you 4.0 people, it automatically skips a couple of these steps. So let me walk you through it. The first thing that you do when you know what printer you're going to use is go up under the Apple menu and go to...
Wow. What is this? Question 3. How many spaces after a period? How weird is my audience?
Now, when I put the call out for questions, there were a lot of divisive but meaningless ones suggested. Whether the toilet paper should go over or under, whether the centre or the edge of the brownie is better, but no one suggested, should you put 1 or 2 spaces after a period, or a full stop, if you're British. And that's the reason I went for the question, because it's divisive out there in the world, but no one in my audience thought to ask about it. HTML, the language that the web is built on, collapses white space. In the code that makes up websites, it doesn't matter if you use 1 or 2 or 50 spaces, they all get crushed down to 1, unless you specifically tell it not to. And a lot of sites don't bother doing that. So often, if you do type 2 spaces after a period, it'll appear as 1 to whoever's reading it. I'm not going to weigh on the argument myself, because it could be a whole video on its own, but I will say this. Wow, does my audience disagree with the world here. The public...
Damn. I'm waiting to permaban the person in chat. Somebody's type. I know you're out there. Actually, if you use the alt code for space, that doesn't actually get crushed in things that are looking to truncate spaces. I'm waiting for him. Somebody's out there. They're going to type it. I'm going to ban you. I'm waiting to permaban you.
Are almost split down the middle. 55% say 1 space, 45% say 2. If you break it down by age, there is a trend towards 1 space, but even among 18 to 24-year-olds, it's still only about 70-30. My audience, 95% 1 spaces. Even for people over 65, more than
30% of 18 to 24 are double spacers? What the fuck?
3/4 just use 1 space, and my theory on this is simple. Most of the audience for this poll came from Twitter. I did try to post it on the YouTube community tab as well, and or crash Google Forms by rushing.
Why is Eddie Torres dragging his feet on your protective order? Discovery closed in like 3 weeks now. Protective order for what thing?
So that's a new responsibility I have to worry about. But even allowing for that, 1 space is the standard on basically every social media site. If you do post with 2 spaces after a period, it's now a pretty big sign that you're not used to the internet. And my audience tend to be used to the internet. So congratulations to the 1 spaces. It's pretty clear that you've won. You just need to convince the folks who still hit.
Damn. What happens if neither of you guys do depots before trial? If neither of us do them, I mean, if we are making good faith attempts to schedule and it doesn't happen, then I imagine the discovery deadline will get extended. If there's no good reason or people are dragging their feet or being stupid, then I imagine that you would just say fuck it. But are you doing your deposition on the 25th confirmed? The judge never ruled on the motion. Wait, mine? This month on the 25th? I don't know if we asked for a specific date in our court order. There's no way because I'm not ready for that. I don't think so. I would have to see. I don't know if we suggested a schedule for the judge to look over yet. I doubt. Things that would be pretty fucked for the judge to be scheduling our depositions. I think.
Hey, Greg, buddy. I just saw Wilson. You're showing her the projections for the new vacation packages this morning.
I am?
What? Look at the most recent court docs. We did a preferably here for scheduling, but it's too close. There's no way the judge is going to issue an order and say your depots are in 2 days or 1 day. There's no. Maybe if he would have ruled on it like immediately, or not immediately. I don't know how soon, but yeah. I don't even know what the point is of. I don't know. I don't know what the point is of anything. Who knows?
You're joking, right? You're such a kidder.
Uh-oh.
Tell me you did it. Come on, don't do this to me. It's just one little spreadsheet. God, this could make or break the deal. Her exact words were 9 a.m. or never.
Calm down. Just give me a minute.
Well, I haven't heard anything about cooking. What about that?
Yeah, 25th.
He's got like an hour. There's no way he can create a spreadsheet that fast. Do you know how hard that is to do in Microsoft Word?
What is this?
It's Microsoft Excel.
What? That already has all the boxes
hold
made?
Still, I'm about to perform a miracle.
You're crazy. There's no time.
Now, Wilson just wants this year, right? First, we'll put in the names of the tours. Tennis, golf, safari. Total.
Right.
Q1, Q2 ought to do it. She wants to see a 10% growth?
Yeah.
I'll work up the first 2 quarters.
I got it. I got it. We could tell her that you got mugged on Friday night. Nah, she'd want a police report.
Click on the auto sum?
Hey, you only have 2 quarters here. Aren't you going to finish it?
Auto sum?
No.
What is it, adding it up
itself? Microsoft Excel is. Watch this. It's called autofill. It's going to finish the table for me.
What?
I just drag this little cross as far as I want the data extended. Check it out.
And it's even adding
Excel
the new
picks up
numbers?
On trends, totals, quarters, dates, and does the projections for me.
My spreadsheet doesn't do that.
Very cool. Autofill. Oh, my career is over. Gone. Look, you're not gonna make it.
Not unless I make room for this title.
What? Start all over?
Don't panic. I'm just gonna drag the table over here and make room for it.
Did you just drag and
Did you
move
just drag that?
How?
My spreadsheet doesn't do that.
Normally you'd have to redo the whole
watch
thing.
This.
Okay.
At that title, a little bigger.
Okay.
Centered.
Nah, it still doesn't look right. Give it up, man. Look, let's just say
This
your
guy's such a
PC got
fucking
run over by a
hater. Oh my
bus and
God.
you're lucky to be alive.
Whoa, I better format those numbers. Click on the table, click the right mouse button, get the shortcut menu for numbers. We want currency formats. This one looks good.
My spreadsheet doesn't do that.
Okay, I admit it. That was pretty neat, but you'll never finish it.
How
This
tall
isn't
is
good
this
enough to present.
building?
You can't show her this.
Oh, ye of little faith.
I really think she'd buy the bus store.
With a click on the auto format, our superhero shops through several professionally designed formats and applies one.
That one.
With a click of his mighty mouse.
I can't believe it.
Is he a graphic designer?
We did
Oh
it.
my God.
It looks great. This is a miracle.
This is Microsoft Excel.
Jesus. He's about to crush this meeting.
I took a minute to work up those figures you wanted.
Woke. How did she affirmative action her way into that manager position?
Doesn't do that. What was that?
Oh my god, back when you used to buy, like, software would come in these big fucking boxes like this. I remember those days. Oh. How many floppies do you think it took to install Excel? What, this is 1990? When was the CD-ROM? I think I installed my first Mega Man game. Nah, I'm lying. I tried to on a floppy disk and I couldn't figure it out. I don't know when CD-ROMs became mid-90s, maybe? Microsoft Excel. Power made easy. Wow. CDs were 80s, but that was only for music? What? Even I had a mobile cassette player. Were CDs popular in the 80s for music? When did CD-ROMs become popular for music? It's got to be a 90s thing. I think that was a 90s thing. Do musical condoms exist? When did CD-ROMs become popular? These are the results for when did condoms become popular for music? Okay. Bill Gates in 1994. This CD-ROM can hold more information than all the paper that's here below me. Holy shit. Was a floppy 5.5 megabytes? And early CD-ROMs were 700 or 800? I don't remember. 1.5, 1.44, 5.25, 1.44. That's it. I'm not attractive and really isolated, have been for a long time. Is there any chance of ever improving at socializing and making friends? What is this? Hikikomori score, 91. Lower is better. Is this measured out of 1,000? Why couldn't you like print a literal image of the disk on a piece of paper? Like if you had enough DPI, wouldn't that work? Yeah. I mean, technically that's all a CD is. Just a very, very, very fine writing on a very, very fine medium. Are you a hikikomori? Hikikomori questionnaire 25, self-administered online test. Hikikomori is total withdrawal from society and seeking extreme degrees of social isolation and confinement. Within the last month, how accurately does the following statement describe you? I stay away from other people. Well, considering I've done events this month, I would say strongly disagree. Within the last month, I spend most of my time at home. Well, I work from home too. Does that count? Also, what does most mean? Like I sleep at my home all the time. But I've also been out of town quite a bit. Probably more than most people. So I'm going to say strongly disagree. We'll say kind of disagree. You know what? We'll say neutral, because I work from home, I guess. Within the last month, how accurately does the following statement describe you? There really is not anyone with whom I can discuss matters of importance. I have a couple good friends. Not anyone, damn. And I have ChatGPT, my best friend. Within the last month, how accurately does the following statement describe you? I love meeting new people. I mean, as long as they don't suck shit. Yeah, I like meeting new people. I shut myself in my room. When I'm working, I feel like work from home fucks a lot of this up. Well, I'll neutral this, I guess. Within the last month, how accurately does the following statement describe you? People bother me. I mean, they kind of do, but not like personally. We'll neutral this one. There are people in my life who try to understand me. Oh, not my lovers, my haters, technically, that love me. I think I'd have, yeah, sure. I feel uncomfortable around other people. Nah. I spend most of my time alone. I don't think so. How do you define most? I can share my personal thoughts with several people. Several people. How much do we mean? What do we mean by several here? I do not like to be seen by others. Nah. I rarely meet people in person. Nah. It's hard for me to join in on groups. Nah. There are a few people I can discuss important issues with. I enjoy being social. Depends. I do not live by society's rules and values. Yeah, we're an outsider, baby. There really is not anyone very significant in my life. I don't think so. I avoid talking with other people. I have very little contact with other people. Talking, writing, and so on. That's unfortunate. Not true. I much prefer to be alone than with others. No, that's not necessarily true. Unless somebody can trust my problems. Neutral, I guess. I rarely spend time alone. I do not enjoy social interactions. I mean, it depends, right? I spend very little time interacting with other people. No. I strongly prefer to be around other people. I don't want to say that. On a daily basis? I mean, I think I'd usually stay at home. Choose the length of time so you stopped going out somewhat often or very often. Well, like if you go out like every weekend, does that count as somewhat often? Well, I'll say somewhat often, fuck it. Has only been validated as a self-administered instrument. Nope, I'm getting drugs for this. I answer the question thoughtfully. Sure. What's the lowest you can get? The proposed cutoff indicating risk is 42. Okay. 4 is strong, 0 is strong, or 4 strongly agree, 0 is strongly disagree. Destiny, I got 80, 88, 88. That original chatter just fucking lied on that shit. Why do you think he lied? Because he's more isolated than you? Are you the most isolated? cringe. Wait, hold on. I feel like if you... Okay, hold on. Let's answer the least favorably possible with the worst interpretation. I stay away from other people. I don't like to... I just want to stream all day. I spend most of my time at home. Yes, because I have to stream. There really is not anyone with whom I can discuss matters of importance. True. No real true friends. I love meeting new people. No, they'll all backstab me. I shut myself in my room. I have to stream and do work. People bother me. Yeah, because they're evil streamers. There are people in my life who try to understand me. No, they're all haters. I feel uncomfortable around other people. Yes, because they're all haters. I spend most of the time alone. Yes, in my room streaming. I can share my personal life with several people. No one understands me. I do not like to be seen by others. My true self doesn't. I rarely meet people in person. True, all my friends are online. It is hard for me to join in on groups. I can't because they hate me. There are a few people I can discuss important issues with. True, because nobody gets me. I enjoy being in social situations. No, too many haters. I do not live by society's... Yes, they don't get me. There really is not anyone very similar in my life. True. Temporary friends. I avoid talking with other people. True. They don't understand me. I have little contact with other people. True. I much prefer to be alone. Yes. I have someone I can trust my problems. No one. I can't trust anyone in my life. I rarely spend time alone. No. I'm always alone. I do not enjoy social interactions. I just want to be on my computer. I spend very little time interacting with other people. True. I hate everyone. Computer. I strongly prefer to be around them. No. I usually stay at home. Choose the length of time so you stopped going out somewhat often. It wasn't since high school. And I have ADHD and autism. Well, there we go. Hell yeah. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Time to suicide. I'm not reading that RFK thing. Jesus. Oh shit. Another Shayy drop. My own experiences with Shayy. Trigger warning, sexual content, parasocial behavior. At the time of writing this, the full details have not been released yet. I don't know everything. I've spoken to some victims and members of the mod team, and I understand the gist of what's going to be released, but in terms of the exact information, I have no idea. Shay's community is much bigger than mine, and their influence among the Undertale community made me too scared to release or say anything. Can I just say real quick, for all of these like NB, whatever bullshits, fucking losers as well, this type of shit is, I wish you could understand, and I know you won't because you're kids, and to some extent it's good, I guess, because you don't know. This is the most fucking stolen valor cuck bullshit in the fucking world, okay? Even as recently as 15 years ago, for a woman to come out and make these types of accusations against a man meant she was probably destroying her entire professional career. Nobody would hire her. Nobody's going to work with her. Nobody might even fucking believe her. Like, she's basically saying, like, my life is about to end professionally here, and I have to pivot to a whole other thing or just stop, whatever, right? You know that when you're releasing shit like this, at least like half the internet by default, just because you're accused of it, is going to support you, right? All the pokies and all the other people like, oh, queen, slay, whatever, all that bullshit, all the, you know, believe all women people. So like, this is, and also a lot of these people don't even have careers here. They're not even like, they don't even have career. They're not even losing jobs. Like what's happening here? Oh, this person says I would lose my job. Maybe this person worked in the industry, but which would add slightly more credibility. But most of these people are not getting the reception that women got, 10, 15, 20 years ago. What is an NB? NB equals non-binary, sorry. While most people assume that the stuff we talked about were strictly business or content creation related, this is not the case. While we do talk about that stuff, me and Shayy have had several explicit conversations, including, but not limited to, flirting and sexual stuff. Before me and my GF started dating officially, Shayy was already flirting with them. This was mainly just the typical queer-coded type of flirting, where they would be like, oh, you're so cute. I feel like in the queer community, these kinds of compliments are very common, so it wasn't really anything out of the ordinary. Another thing is, I know you think you're special because you're queer, and by queer, you like have a piercing and you have some exotic label for a totally standard heteronormative monogamous person, but you try to dress it up. You're not that special, and especially when it comes to male-female dynamics and flirting and dating, you're not that special. I'm sorry, you're not. There are no communities. And even if anybody in chat contradicts me, I won't believe you because I would have to see it for myself. I am so blinded to evidence that I would need to witness it. I need my own anecdotal experiences to even believe somebody contradicted me. There are no experiences where men and women are flirting continuously, but there is a mutual understanding that none of it actually means anything. I don't believe that. I think there might be coke communities where they say that, but all of this will always escalate to some type of romantic entanglement or something more. I do not believe that these communities exist, okay? One of the most retarded things in the fucking universe, when Brittany Simon talked about how like, oh no, like I had a guy who we were totally platonic and he would like shower with me and he never wanted to do anything. Like, okay. At Destiny, you are a believe all women person though. You've said anywhere from 50 to 90% of guys are creeps who sexually misconduct themselves around and toward women. Yeah, but when I'm talking about sexual misconduct, I'm talking about like creepy guys who are like pushing boundaries, not like fucking rapists. Like guys who will like touch you when they shouldn't be or just are being too close or weird. But I don't think these guys are rapists either. I just think they're inconsiderate. Unfortunately, as time had progressed on, Shayy got more and more sexual towards me and my GF to the point where we couldn't get any other conversation with them without it turning into something sexual. Like for both of you, or? I want to explain all of this in full detail in this document. This document will be separated into a bunch of different parts explaining all of my weird interactions with Shayy and how infuriating it was talking with them. My friendship dynamic with Shayy is that while we do talk about business, we often do queer-coded kind of flirting. As in calling each other cute or pretty, head pats, the typical ooh-woo kind of talking with each other. Okay. I think this kind of flirting is frequently represented in LGBTQ plus communities, spoken from a trans girl who often interacts with other trans people. And while the flirting started off fine and typical and very rare, Shayy would eventually take it way too far and would also make it so the flirting was very consistent. Okay. I changed my server icon to a new one. We do frequent art contests there, and Shayy DMs me talking about the boobs in the icon. Nice new server icon. Thank you, thank you. They gave you a set for sure. Lemeo. Some fucking honkadoodles there. Discord says honkadoodle is a word. What the fuck, really? Shayy, try not to obsess about my tits challenge. Obsess is crazy. Hello, lol, it was one joke. Like, okay. They're flirting. This is flirting. This is just flirting. Why are we like pretending we've like made it like 50 billion times more complicated than you're flirting, okay? This is not a queer coded way to communicate using queer code. It's just flirting. You're flirting. It was one joke, they say, but this wouldn't be the first time Shayy had been interested in my tits. In 2023, they said that my model had quote unquote gigantic boobs. Obsessed is crazy. Hello, lol. It was one joke. Smiley face. You're insane for that. What are we about to scroll and see? Hold on. Oh, okay. Here is Sybil's VTuber model to compare, by the way. If not AI assisted, it is traced. God, I forgot her model's gigantic boobs. Okay, those are, she's boobing pretty hard there, to be fair. Those are huge boobs. But was looking into someone potentially AI arting your model and passing it over as a drawing, and a friend brought it up to me, and you could tell my 4M responses are super pinpoint. Completely unrelated, but I cannot believe I still sometimes get people who are like, Sybil's is a girl when I mention you on streams. LOL, also your model's super pretty. I'm so used to the old one, but I forget how well done yours is now. When we had, okay, I like how she excludes her response there. So she was almost certainly flirting back or being playful, is my guess, since she cut it out. When we had conversations around my boobs and sex, that's generally the only times where I felt like I was having an actual conversation with them. Then stop talking to them. Then stop talking to them. I don't understand why some women, also, this is just a retarded white woman lack of agency thing. When you feel like a person is only responding to you when it's a sexual conversation, they might be using you for sex, but you're also using your sex for them. You understand that that's like equally manipulative on both ends, right? Like if you feel like you're constantly having to bait sex to get them to respond to you, you're also being manipulative. You're also being a manipulator. Just stop talking to them. Fuck, hold on. This triggers the fuck out of me. Fuck, this person already has me blocked, so I can't quote tweet them. Post the tweet at the end of the draft. I don't know if it'll show up because I'm blocked now. Wait, I don't get this. Ew, she fucked the weed man for weed, a bitch that's fucking the text man for texts. Why would you have to fuck somebody for texts? What does that mean? Boogie talking shit about you right now. She's saying the regular relationships are just texts. Oh, I got it.
Completely forgot about the.
Destiny's best tweet ever. Oh. Just to be clear on events, Destiny rapes some streamer chick, secretly recorded it, shared it with friends on Discord, had it leaked to the public, got sued over it, is now harassing witnesses. This guy needs to be out in jail. 23,000 likes. Good job. Good one. True. Every single part of that story is true.
I'm recording.
Oh my God. We had a conversation. Okay. You know what our conversations look like without sexual stuff involved? Here's some examples. Asking my close friends for feedback. Thoughts on these voices? Any constructive criticism is welcome. Right now, it's very tense, and I think that's the most obvious thing. Relearning how to breathe has been the hardest part of all this. No response. I was asking for feedback on my voice when I was in voice training lessons. No response. Fuck. I meant that one. Should work on the new patch. Ooh, nice. Thank you, thank you. I say should, but you're going to be my test dummy to see if it works or not. Side note, why the flushed emote here? Oh. Surely it works. Surely. No response. Help, I'm so alone. 100 men. No response. Anytime I tried having any sort of normal conversation with them, anytime I wanted to get to know them better or talk about anything, they wouldn't respond or give me barely anything to converse about. It got to a point where the only times we actually talked was during sexual interactions. Then stop having sexual interactions. My YouTube Shorts editor and girlfriend, Zaywire, referred to as Ava, of course, had been looking for work outside of me for a bit now. She had been already friends with Shayy, which had led her to believe that Shayy would be a good option to pick up more work. Her and I have always been trying to get a house together for a while, which is why we've been working so hard to get as much work as possible. After contacting Shayy about making YouTube Shorts, they said yes. Everything was looking good, and the YouTube Shorts were discussed to start uploading on July 1st this year. In order to create YouTube Shorts, however, Ava needed a bunch of stuff from Shayy. She needed the raw scripts, the audio recordings, and all information about how she wanted it. She needed complete and active communication with them. Leading up to the date of July 1st, despite her needing that stuff, Shayy wouldn't give her any of the material that she needed to start working, which caused massive amounts of anxiety between both me and Ava of meeting the upload start date of July 1st. Ava begged Shayy for weeks to get the material she needed from them. She would sometimes get no response to very vague ones, which led me to have an idea. No! Hold on. No. They're not about to say my mind just went to the gutter. My mind just went to the gutter. No. You know, like the joke is like you use Subway Surfers to get Zoomers to pay attention. She's not going to be like, I decided to start pairing my sexting with actual real life requests for. It's not going to be that though. That would be based. That would actually be so based. It's not going to be that. 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 It won't be that. It's not going to be that. No! I often notice that Shayy often responds very quickly to sexual-related messages. Just based on something I've heard from Ava and my own experiences. Neither of us knew how long it would take for Shayy to finally get the shit Ava needed, and there were barely any communication between them and her. So I needed all my picture of my boobs! No! It's just textbook manipulation! No shot! My thought process was, okay, they're really active and actually talk to me when sexual activity between us is present. If I ever picture my boobs to them, I wonder if they'll actually give Ava what she needs to make her shorts. No. Neurons activated. Hey, Ava Shorts. Haha. Kitty face. Okay, I'll offer you a booby pic if you give Ava any sort of shorts, lol. Wowee, you gotta do it. She's begging, we need money. I'll DM her tonight. When I sent this message to them, I believed that they would take it as a joke. You just said you had an idea. Oh, because they're trying to do everything they can to have no responsibility for any of their actions. I was just joking, lol. What? They didn't. Sending a picture of my boobs to Shayy caused them to finally get the material that Ava needed to start working on shorts. Okay, I think I'm ready to start doing these. Yippee. I'm leaving for GDQ later this week, so we can probably start once I get back, and I'll get into the groove. I think for now, something super easy. Bro, the guy's fucking neurons are activated. I love trans drugs. Image of my boobs. Whoa, I am enjoying. Unfortunately, the start date for shorts on July 1st was completely missed, and the schedule was completely thrown out of whack. It took until the last day of July to finally get the stuff Ava needed. Why did I offer a picture of my boobs? Because we tried everything. And it was absolutely clear, based on their past interactions with Ava and me, that when presented with sexual content, we can actually have a conversation. Note, it was requested by Ava to not provide screenshots as to what her past flirting interactions were with them. This is just textbook manipulation, but also based. But like, that's what you're doing, right? White trans women are 10 times worse than cis white women. They are the ultimate final form. Online white trans women. Difference, but yes. Even after I offered the picture of my boobs and Shayy got the materials for Ava, there was still content and questions that she needed in order to continue creating shorts for them. This was meant to be a long-term thing, and we needed complete active communication between us, but Shayy just was not giving it to us. The information that she needed still took forever to get to her, and any time that she wanted to discuss work-related stuff, Shayy would often turn it sexual instead. Well, yeah, well, look at the standard that you just set. You just associated these things so heavily. Why not just not work with this person? How are all of the dozens of accusers the exact same personality? Because all of these retards are in the same community, and then they start getting into groups and they start talking with each other, and then they all get like the same fucking retarded fucking ideas in their head. I'm confused. So was this Shayy person paid for the content, or were they doing it for free? I actually have no idea. Wait, what? In this screenshot, you'll notice that this is only a couple hours after the work-related stuff she needed was given to her. Immediately after, they were requesting sexual stuff from her while they were talking about things work-related. Ava started venting to me about everything that was going on, and so I decided to take this directly to Shayy themselves about what Ava told me. Hey, I have something important to tell you because it's bothering me a bit. Oh, any message by these people, by the way? Careful, this is a half bullshit take I'm giving you, but any message sent in August or later, I think all of these messages are bullshit and all of them are big baits. It's just based on the things that I read yesterday, I think, and maybe the day before, it sounds like all these mentally ill people got together and decided that they were going to out this dude sometime in August. So it sounds like they were all messaging him trying to get like apologies or acknowledgements or recognitions or whatever. So I'm guessing that this person started to be in these groups, is my guess. I might not be 100%, but that's what it feels like, yeah. Hey, I have something important to tell you because it's been bothering me a bit about Ava. She's really upset that you didn't ask her to edit the short you put out today. Says she could have done it within a couple hours. In addition, the lack of credits for her work, especially because you plastered semi-hypercube all over your recent shorts too, but haven't credited her. But also, she's really upset with your lack of professionalism, the constant flirting with them when she really wanted to talk to you about work-related stuff. I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything, but genuinely, she's been really stressed over work, and a lot of her stress is your lack of support towards her work ethic and her work in general. She doesn't know I told you this, by the way. Okay. I just don't want to bury all this only for it to explode later on, or later. She says she's been feeling used for flirting when all she really wants to is to just work for you. And if you'd respond to her better question DMs, we decided to start sending him pictures of our boobs in order to get him to respond. Also, we feel used for flirting. Are we fucking for real right now? Holy fucking shit. Oh my God. Holy lack of accountability, Batman. What the fuck? She says that you've been acting like editing shorts are easy as well, and she feels like a lot of her work is undermined and undervalued. Undetermined? I don't know what this is supposed to mean. or what they try to type here, because of how you act about it. And I agree, the editing she does is not as easy as you're making it out to be. So please, give her a little bit more respect. Reading back over this now, sorry if it came up as rude or mean. Just trying to maintain a good friendship between all of us, you know. LOL. Despite its potential rudeness, please take some of the criticism. At least you should have attached a picture of her boobs. He would have responded earlier. Shay's response to what I said, they called me rude. Gonna be super honest. I feel like this is like the third time you've had to say this about something. Yes, it kind of was rude. Important stuff in there for sure, but like some of this was really unnecessary to say. Anyway, I have talked to her about everything. Okay. Not only did this reinforce my feeling of being scared to come out about all of this, scared because he said you were rude, but it made me super scared to say no to absolutely any time they would flirt with me. I was scared of a response like this all the time. Oh my God, she was scared that he was gonna call her rude again? Holy shit. Shayy cannot take criticism. Shayy has a really hard time accepting criticism or being accused of anything. I could never say no to them because they would get upset. And I was so scared of losing everything. Was there what is this person's relationship with this person? Were they working for them full time or what? Okay, I don't even know what the fuck their business relationship was. Okay, whatever. I made a tweet a bit ago talking about the I can't read, I'm an Undertale fan meme and how overly annoying it was getting. I have dyslexia, and it was being used against me constantly in the comments. I also noticed people across the Undertale fandom being upset about the meme too. Shayy DMs me after I made this tweet, explaining that they're tired of it too. Why would you even, how would people even know this? Why would you even say this? What? Shayy DMs me after I made this tweet, explaining that they're tired of it too. If it makes you feel better, I'm sick of the meme too. It's annoying to see what it's turned into. Also, I got some scripts to Ava finally, lol. She didn't tell you. Yeah, she told me. Hell yeah. Kitty face. However, after telling me this, they told me to delete my tweet. Could you delete that tweet? I already feel really bad about how annoying that meme has gotten, but it's also something I inadvertently created, and those types of posts make me feel horrible to read. Yeah, I get you. Could you do me a favor in return, though, to like figure out a way to stop people from saying it, lol? I've spoken out against it multiple times. There's not much I can really do, unfortunately, beyond what I already have. You blame me for not fighting back here and giving in. Can you blame me for not fighting back here and giving in? Their loot account. Oh my God, bro. When she told me this is their fetish and wanted me to take action on it, I tried my absolute hardest to put them off without directly saying no. You can tell from this screenshot how not into this I was, but Shayy kept doubling down. Eventually, they asked if I was having fun during the flirting. This is perfectly okay to do normally, but the problem is how they asked this. Because they put the hypno thing or whatever. What? They were... This is not how you ask for consent. It only made me more intimidated to say no. I was so uncomfortable with what was happening at this point. I didn't say yes initially, and I was scared to say no, so I said maybe. They sent a hypnotism gif. I then felt forced to say yes. Were they actually hypnotized? Okay. Is it? Bro, I can't. Why did my team release their initial response to the Willie J post? I have no idea if it's going to be covered in the information that will be released to the public, so I'm going to write about it here so that people know why that initial Willie J post was made, just in case it's not covered. When the accusations were first related to Shayy, Shayy had an absolute terrible reaction to everything. They deleted the owner role from the server and went dark. Willie J's post attempted to damage the show from Shayy's reaction. Conclusion. I think a lot of people had it worse than me at the end of the day. Okay. More info on the Shayy situation, specifically for those waiting for Shayy's response. TLDR, Shayy is not returning to the internet and is not making a response. They've also admitted to everything in DMs, according to Sybils and other friends. They got him, dude. Shayy is seeking professional help and is currently going to be away from the internet indefinitely. I feel like everybody in this group needs professional help, but...
Instead of smoking.
Why was I link this? I was filming a video of my cats fighting when Destiny found out his girlfriend was too old for him.
Oh. 17?
Good one.
Why?
Good one.
I'm recording this on November 18th of 2025. If you're seeing this, there has been an exposure document released about Shayy, who you might know as the popular Undertale series content creator. They have done completely reprehensible things to their friends and loved ones, and many people that I know have been affected by their horrible actions. These are chronicled in a document posted in the description. Just a fair warning for anyone that goes to read it. It accounts for events such as sexual assault, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, grooming, and a number of other horrible things. So I'm just laying that out for anyone that is sensitive to those kinds of things. I have been in the know about these actions for the past, I want to say, 28 hours. And before learning about this, they were someone that I considered a friend. And
which person is this? The person. This person is maybe one of the people in the Google Docs in the 262 page one. Watch Pluribus. You were like, oh, that's not a crazy accusation.
Reading everyone's testimonies and the events that were shown in the document, seeing how they were affected by Shayy's actions, has just completely shattered my trust. It is horrific, which is the whole reason why I'm making this video, because their horrible actions deserve to be exposed to the world to see, so that everyone in this community can see them for the true scum that they are. Now, regarding what I plan on doing, since you might be aware that I put a couple of references to Shayy in Delta Traveler. As of recording this, I have already released a patch for the game for all platforms that removes all references to this person, as well as generally removing references to other content creators. You likely will not see any other YouTuber references in my games going forward. It's proven time and time again that some people just do not know how to handle immense fame and notoriety like what Shayy got. There have been numerous incidents, like this one, where they let the power get into their heads and they just assume that they can do whatever the fuck they want. This is not the first time that I've experienced this kind of betrayal.
Wait, one second.
By someone popular that I knew. It's not even the first in this community. And frankly, I'm just tired of being burned by big figures that turn out to be shitty, fucked up people. And I guess if that means my success online is hampered, then that's how it's supposed to be. Because I'm fucking sick of this shit. And I have a little personal message to Shayy, who might be watching this, assuming they haven't bunkered after everything has crumbled around them. Do not fucking speak to me ever again, you vile piece of shit. You have hurt so many people in such despicable ways that it is unforgivable. And honestly, thinking back, having taken all of this in, it's very obvious why you never spoke to me very much. And that's because I wasn't exploitable like the victims you violated. Go fuck yourself. Also, if you feel remorseful for your actions, quote unquote, feel free to send me a refund on the Shayy plushies I bought to support you. And also all the ad revenue for the Delta Traveler videos you made. I'll go ahead and link my Ko-fi in the description, just for you.
Based.
Pixie situation. I didn't even know about this
and underage girl woman.
Based.
Not only did he send allegedly.
Boogie was talking around LolCal Live. Mad after I mind incepted his cancer fakeness.
Genuine question. How does America First Project soft power without giving foreign aid/military intervention to keep up with other superpowers? Example, China supplying these countries foreign aid instead. God bless and have a good weekend.
I'm not against foreign aid. I'm not against foreign aid at all. I'm not against foreign aid. I'm not against military intervention in principle. I'm against specific instances of it where it does not benefit us, but I am not against it in principle at all. Because America is an empire and I support the maintenance of the empire, and it's cheap. It's cheap. The problem is not that foreign aid to Israel is cost prohibitive. The problem is what it reflects about our country. They're right. $3 billion a year is nothing. You know how much it cost for the government to cut a $1,000 check to fewer than how many people even got it during COVID? It cost $250 billion to give everybody $1,000.
Wow.
$3 billion for Israel. It's nothing. The problem is not the amount. The problem is not that we do it. The problem is that we do it because it reflects their entrenched influence in our society and because we don't get anything for it. So it's like, you know, there's some nuance there, but I'm not against it in principle.
Pepe the Prawn sent $50.
Wow. Cool story, bro. Las Vegas police released body cam video of a road rage shooting that killed an 11-year-old. 22-year-old Tyler Johns allegedly shot and killed Brandon Dominguez, who was sitting in his father's vehicle on the way to school. My kid is dead. Dominguez's father, Ayala Valente, Jesus, told the officer. Johns admitted to firing the shots and told police, I shot at him. I didn't know there was a fucking kid in the back. Investigators said the shooting followed a road rage exchange. A cop?
You're killing your kid?
Officer.
He's dead? Why?
I shot at him, bro. I didn't know. I didn't.
Anything could happen.
Like the body cam was just some arguing? Like the cop had a road rage incident with the guy, or?
Is destabilizing global politics, yet few talk about this directly. Trump's unchecked narcissism is destabilizing global politics, yet few talk about this directly. Every relationship Trump has with Putin, with Macron, with...
This is 8 months old, by the way.
Starmer, his theater of cruelty in the Oval Office with Zelensky are all shaped by his narcissism. For Trump, every act, from lowering taxes to pouting, is designed to satisfy his narcissistic needs. The type of narcissism I'm talking about is not just a trait like greed or kindness. It's a personality disorder marked by deep denial of mental and emotional reality, and Trump has it. We usually don't discuss the mental disorders of our public figures, but as a political philosopher, I'm saying that it's time to put an end to that taboo. As our democracies decline, we're at risk of electing increasingly disturbed individuals. And when the power to end democracy or start a nuclear war is at stake, public interest overrides privacy. At the heart of narcissistic personality disorder is an insatiable desire for narcissistic supply. There is positive supply, for example, receiving adulation. There is negative supply.
Have you ever had to deal with any psycho road ragers while Nathan was in the car? If people are road raging, I usually just laugh and whatever. I don't think it's ever worth it to get in a road rage off with another person. That never ends positively. There's literally no reason for it.
Supply, sometimes called sadistic supply, stemming from being seen as omnipotently destructive, a kind of dark admiration.
You didn't have our military equipment.
The spectacle of sadism in the Oval Office, Trump's demand that Zelensky offer gratitude, even as he calls him dictator, blames him for Putin's invasion, schemes to extract Ukraine's natural resources, toys with Ukraine's independence, was about sadistic, narcissistic supply, being seen across the world as the master of Zelensky's misery.
For some words of appreciation.
When J.D. Vance ambushed Zelensky, he wasn't merely acting on impulse. It was a calculated...
Destiny, everybody thinks that the problem with road rage is that people can't control it. Well, some people play into it, though. Like, if somebody road raged against my dad would absolutely road rage back. I think you can absolutely mutually escalate your road raging bullshit.
Move designed to trigger Trump's thirst for narcissistic supply. You see, narcissists split the world into two: people they idealize and people they dismiss. In Trump's world, Putin is idealized. Trump invites Putin into a society of his own creation. Zelensky, on the other hand, falls into the non-idealized group. He doesn't meet Trump's needs for narcissistic supply, and therefore he doesn't exist. During the Oval Office meeting, J.D. Vance sensed that Trump was running low on narcissistic supply.
And the president who's trying to save...
Vance's intervention from the couch was meant to dial up Trump's narcissistic dissatisfaction with Zelensky by hitting respect and gratitude. And it was calculated to create a new dynamic for Trump in which he could torment Zelensky, turning a pitiful event into a moment of grotesque glory. Now, let's explore why Putin is Trump's narcissistic heaven. There is a tendency in our culture to think that narcissism is self-obsession, but that's not true. The antidote to narcissism is not caring for others. That's the antidote to sociopathy. The antidotes to narcissism are authenticity, being real, and growth, being able to look inside and find a steady self that can learn from experience. When Trump looks inside, he doesn't see anything there. There is no I. All there is a false self looking for narcissistic supply as a means of self-regulation. And because Trump has a false self, he cannot grow. Trump lives the same day over and over. He doesn't accumulate lessons or burdens. Notice how the few opinions he has haven't changed since the 80s. This lack of emotional weight explains in part why Trump seems to be aging slowly. When Zelensky showed Trump images of Ukrainian POWs, Trump recognized what was in the picture, but had no correlate emotional response. Trump does not carry anything, whether it's Gaza or Ukraine or Melania. For Trump, the narcissist, life is all about theatrics around authority. He either dominates, staging spectacles to assert his authority, or he submits, aligning himself with special figures so that he can bask in their glory. I call this dynamic narcissistic submission. Narcissistic submission is huge in narcissism, even if it's not well understood. Psychoanalyst Christopher Bolas talks about the narcissistic contract. Quote, I promote you as exalted, welcome you into my world of idealization, and then bask in the radiant light of the idealized object. Now, if I were a narcissist, I would tell you, I'm a great public intellectual, but look, there is this other public intellectual, and he has won the Nobel Prize and even bested Socrates in debate, and he thinks I am amazing. And if you know narcissists, you know that they often exaggerate the achievements of others in their life so they can bask in their glow. It's this dynamic that explains why Trump rolls out the red carpet for Putin. Trump isn't interested in the real Putin. He's incurious about him. What he wants is to idealize an image of Putin and then bask in its glow. That's why Trump was visibly rattled when Zelensky called Putin a killer in the Oval Office. Criticizing Putin isn't just a political problem for Trump because he's negotiating with him. It's an attack on Trump because Trump is dependent on an idealized image of Putin for narcissistic self-regulation. It gets worse. People around Trump exploit his narcissism for their own gain. Trump is easy to manipulate because his false self leaves him with no sense of direction. He is not goal-oriented. Trump has a small number of beliefs, but aside from those, he has not beliefs, but dispositional states that come and go. If something promises to feed his narcissistic hunger, he'll probably go after it. The ideal operator to manipulate Trump is a non-narcissistic psychopath, somebody who is goal-oriented, strategic, and unburdened by a false self. Unfortunately, Putin meets this description to some extent. Putin may not be a psychopath, but he's a master of sociopathy with pronounced psychopathic traits, and his narcissistic tendencies are there, but fall short of a personality disorder. At the level of exploitation, Trump's and Putin's relationship is unbalanced. Trump uses Putin for self-regulation, to meet his narcissistic needs, to bask in the idealized image of Putin he has created, while Putin uses Trump to achieve real geopolitical goals in the world. Still worse, Trump's narcissism is amplified by his suspected ADHD. While many brilliant and ethical people have ADHD.
Okay, this guy is getting a little bit too far into the psychoanalysis, but largely what he's saying is true though. The biggest issue with Trump, he's saying in more complicated and descriptive ways that, like, if you put somebody around Trump that can take advantage of Trump's narcissism, and the person has no problem, basically, what would you say, kowtowing to or acquiescing to or letting Trump be the big guy in the room, they can exert a subtle but hardcore control over the person. This is absolutely what is happening with Trump behind the scenes. 1 trillion %. 1 trillion %. I bet we could see this play out when Trump is having his executive orders handed to him to sign, in that the person will say, this is the executive order that you asked for. This is going to make America a safer place, and everybody's going to see that, like, your plan is making America better. It's always like explained in terms of like it's his shit. And he's always like really happy to hear this, But the people driving him aren't just narcissistic retards. They are more ideologically driven. They are more goal-oriented.
Trump's stance changing from day to day, contrarian behavior. If everybody will Still worse, Trump's narcissism is amplified by his suspected ADHD. While many brilliant and ethical people have ADHD, combined with narcissism, it can have an explosive effect. In Trump's case, it's like steroids. Elevating impulsivity, think of Trump's stance changing from day to day. Contrarian behavior, if everybody says X is right, Trump's going to want to do Y. And inattention, which means that Trump is bad at noticing when people manipulate him.
Like, I think I disagree with almost all of that. I don't think that Trump is very impulsive. I would argue that from a psychological standpoint, impulsivity, I think, refers to like in the moment stuff, like within like the course of like several minutes. Like if somebody says like, somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this, but like if somebody's like, I'm feeling so impulsive, I really want to go to Australia, like I'm going to plan a trip to Australia in 3 months. I don't think that that would count psychologically as like impulsive, right? If you're making plans in the future. Same thing, even when you're like, God, like next weekend, I'm just going to go skydiving, right? I don't know if that, I think impulsive, at least like a pathological type of impulsivity, is like a in the moment thing. So maybe if Trump was like tweeting all of these things out because he just got the thought, but I don't know if that's, I think that when he's changing his mind on things, it's not because of impulsivity, it's because somebody talked to him and they appeased his narcissism and now he's like changing his mind on anything, you know?
I want to do Y, and inattention, which means that Trump is bad at noticing when people manipulate him.
And then there was
now a word of caution. What we've discussed so far is only the psychological side of Trump. We need social and ideological. Trump's stance change. It can have an explosive effect. While many cases it's like steroids. Elevating impulsivity. Think of Trump's stance changing from day to day. Contrarian behavior.
I don't think Trump is a contrarian whatsoever. I think Trump very much likes most people to agree with him, likes to have a lot of support and public, I said support. I'm trying to think of a different word for support, but he likes it when the public likes him. Trump loves to be loved. I think that's part of the reason why he's had a lot of trouble as president, because he's not used to having so many people not like him. I think Trump loves to be loved.
Everybody says X is right, Trump's going to want to do Y, and inattention, which means that Trump is bad at noticing when people manipulate him. Now a word of caution. What we've discussed so far is only the psychological side of Trump. We need social and ideological explanation too, something my channels focus on, but we're not doing that today. But we do need to say this. Ideologically, Trumpism shares key elements with Putinism. Both embrace what I call hyper-neoliberalism, an approach that treats the world as a market where everything can be bought. And what cannot be bought is extorted, threatened into submission, or conquered by force. Indeed, this fusion of neoliberal ideology and a Hobbesian war of all against all is at the heart of the authoritarian wave sweeping the globe today.
Doesn't Trump actually think they're being earnest with their glaze, or does he just like seeing them bend the knee in general? I would have to like lock somebody in a room and really speak to somebody. There's like levels of honesty that you can have when you're dealing with yourself. I don't know sometimes if people are aware of perceiving that they are dishonest with themselves, but like for somebody like Trump to take apart how somebody's interacting with him and to admit that somebody is glazing him just because he likes to be glazed would require a pretty big admission about his own, I guess, like character inadequacies or character flaws, which I don't think he's like very capable of doing. But I don't know if he perceives all of that happening or not, or if it's just an uncomfortable thought that he pushes out of his mind. I just don't know. I don't think I haven't engaged with many people like that I can have extended conversations with to even figure out what's going on.
There's nobody better, smarter, or a better leader than Viktor Orban.
But now we're going to draw some big lessons from the psychological issues we discussed, which imperil our politics. Lesson 1. Our culture amplifies narcissism, sociopathy, and even psychotic thinking. Social media overwhelms us with tragedy, fueling both sociopathy and a psychology of moral disgust at the ghastliness of the world that makes us want to tune out from politics. Post-truth politics weakens our sense of reality and fuels psychotic patterns of thought. When we find the world so unbearable that we destroy it in our mind in order to bear it. This partly explains the Trump vote. Consumerism twists our search for truth into self-obsession, amplifying narcissism. You search for the news that matches your identity. All this transforms our politics because societies that are sick elevate sick people into positions of power. Lesson 2. We rarely link personal psychology to large-scale problems. Psychological professions focus on personal life and ignore politics, and professions studying politics largely ignore personal psychology. We need more psychological insight into our relationships mediated by the institutions we share. And we need more insight into what happens when we enter a vicious cycle, when our institutions get sick, corrupting mass psychology, which makes our institutions more sick, which corrupts mass psychology more. Lesson 3. Many of the daily messages we're exposed to are psychically destructive for us. They leave us feeling unsafe, powerless, lost, and with a fractured sense of reality. This creates another vicious cycle. Destructive communication begets destructive communication. This is a self-perpetuating disinhibiting effect, which makes us fragment into ever smaller distinct mental and fact worlds. Lesson 4. Don't vote for narcissists. They distort reality and use you for their gain, especially if you are their supporter. They act malevolently when it suits them and endanger your country. And by the way, it's not true that most leaders are narcissists. They have narcissistic traits, but they don't have narcissistic personality disorder. And don't vote for psychopaths. This is a warning that'll be more important in the 2030s, when populist buffoons like Donald Trump are replaced by more determined and dogged authoritarians like Orban. But now, to put what we've discussed in context, we need to understand the role of post-truth politics and Russian propaganda in the world. And for that, watch this video next.
Wow. Do you agree or disagree with his ideal foreign policy?
In the Middle East, once AF takes back control of the country.
We need to restrain Israel. I think that we should.
How do you envision American foreign policy in the Middle East once AF takes back control of the country?
We need to restrain Israel. I think that we should build on our alliance with Saudi Arabia, with Qatar, with the Emirates, but I also think that we should work with Iran. We should do to Iran what we're doing to Venezuela. And by that, I mean maximum pressure. At the same time, we need to restrain Israel. I would do regime change in Israel. I would install a puppet in Israel working for the U.S. government, and I would hold them back. And I would make a deal with Iran. Maybe
I feel like he has the broad strokes sometimes, but the specifics are really silly. Regardless of what delusional young white kids say on Twitter, Israel is a democracy. You can't install a puppet there. That would cause like severely fuck shit to happen. Now, if you want to talk about installing a puppet in like a monarchy, you know, doing something to influence Saudi Arabian leadership or something, sure, but you can't just install your own leader in Israel. The population, I don't think, would bear it unless you're talking about some crazy covert ops thing or whatever. I do agree that Israel does need more restraint, and I do agree that we should work with Iran more. That's why I like the Obama nuclear deal.
Government, and I would hold them back, and I would make a deal with Iran. Maybe I would let them enrich somewhere in the country with inspections, and I would integrate Iran into the regional
like what the JCPOA or whatever that Obama had was
economy. I would integrate them. I would take off the sanctions if there were weapons inspections. And I would use that maybe to even earn their support over Russia. Just like Russia's making a play for Saudi Arabia, I would make a play for Iran.
Especially because right now, if we had a maximum pressure, like economic, social campaign against Iran, but we had an off-ramp that made them look like closer friends to us, I don't know, like all the different factions that play in the Middle East, but I feel like now would just be the best time to do that. Assad is gone. Russia is heavily preoccupied. Iran, I feel like, is at their most isolated. The population doesn't even like the leadership that much. Israel, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, this alliance or whatever is like, feels like it's pretty strong right now. And like, I feel like this would be the time to do it, but I doubt Netanyahu wants that for, I don't know what drives Netanyahu, but because he's retarded. And then Trump has no vision for the Middle East, so yeah.
And I would do so by restraining Israel. And I would try to increase U.S. support in the Middle East. It's a very important region. And it seems that we've got a chance at having a favorable government with al-Shara in Syria, good relationship with Erdogan in Turkey, good relationship with all the Gulf countries.
Yeah.
I mean, I like what they're doing, but the problem is that Israel is truly a pariah. They want to keep the Middle East unstable so that they can continue to pursue their conquest. They don't want to stabilize Lebanon because they want the territory. They don't want to stabilize Syria because they want the territory. They don't want a deal with Iran because they want regime change in Iran. So that's what
in my opinion, this is like 75% true. Yeah. That if it's an enemy to Israel, then they prefer the lack of stability because Israel is not like an expansionist country that will start wars to take territory, like all the pro-Palestine say, but they, depending on the leadership at the reins, they are opportunistic as fuck, and they do prefer unstable environments where they can advance their interests. I don't know if, has Israel moved? Is it the Yatani River or whatever? Has Israel taken any territory in Lebanon? I don't know if they've ever occupied anything or not. I don't know if they've expanded anything from the Golan Heights for Syria. I don't know if they would take more territory in either of those directions. I feel like they generally want the West Bank shit, but
I would do.
Count Sackle is at $100.
Sorry if it's a retarded question, but is Fuentes actually anti-Semite? He definitely used to be hardcore. I don't watch his stuff as frequently, like recently. So I don't know. I can't say. I only see clips of his on Twitter and shit. I'm not sure. I know the audience is heavily anti-Semitic. Or at least anti-Zionist. Or like anti-Israel and anti-helping Israel, but...
Is said...
Fuentes said the position he changed on the most was Russia-Ukraine. Oh, what, is he more pro-Ukraine now? Match the arrestee with the alleged crime. Let's see. Battery, disorderly conduct, possession of child porn, murder, cocaine sales. Child porn's always got to be the white guy, right? Isn't that usually how it goes? Could be the white woman. Oh, this is also a white woman. What, is this like a makeup mask or what the fuck is going on here? Is she murder somebody or why is her face all fucked up? Murder. Women don't murder people. I think this is a guy. It's got to be one of these two. This guy. I get murder vibes from him more than this guy. This guy looks too happy to be a murderer, right? Disorderly conduct or battery. Cocaine sales. A woman drug dealer? No shot. Battery, disorderly conduct. I'm going with this. Good luck. Fuck me. We got the coke dealer. Damn, she murdered somebody? Who'd she murder? What the fuck? This guy? Black guy with child porn? What? This guy was the battery dude? He must have been real happy about whoever's ass he whipped. And then... she was disorderly conduct. Okay, well...
narcissism. What motivates Donald Trump? Donald Trump is a narcissist. A big part of what drives him is said narcissism, right? He always wanted to be endorsed and welcomed by the New York elite. But because him and his father were slumlords and shitty real estate developers.
But the New York elite?
And very nouveau riche with their vibes, with their attitude, especially Trump. Because he's like the first gen, right? His dad was the one who made all the money, and then Trump was like the first gen rich guy. He went to all the right schools.
Does he think Trump Sr. wasn't rich? Or I don't know what he means by first gen rich guy. Does he mean second gen rich guy? I don't know. Or grew up second gen rich guy, maybe?
He wanted to be a part of this elite society in New York, but he was too tacky, he was too rude. So he was never welcomed by them. I know it sounds stupid, but that is a major driving force behind Donald Trump's disdain for the elite, okay? That is precisely the reason why he talks about sissy Graydon Carter's Vanity Fair parties when he is stumping in fucking West Virginia talking to coal miner families. Because those guys already have resentment towards what they perceive as the liberal elite. But their resentment is very different than Donald Trump's. Donald Trump would be the biggest queen, he already is, if he was simply like, if he went to Juilliard and became a Broadway musical producer, okay? I'm telling you right now, instead of this route that he took, he would be living his best gay life. If he had taken that route and instead got welcomed by the New York high society. But instead, that fucking drive for wealth and drive for power and endless need for acceptance and admiration unironically caused him to fail upwards and become the fucking president. This is also part of the reason why he wasn't going to ever like pull a Cuba on New York, right? Because he is still, first and foremost, very much a New Yorker. He sees Zohran Mamdani as a guy who has been welcomed by that group. And as someone who has been welcomed by that group, as long as he is somewhat cordial to Donald Trump is going to respond positively. Donald Trump also wants recognition. Donald Trump wants recognition from this group. from these artists and the elite. Yes, only if he didn't get rejected from art school sounds a little familiar. If you read, now I know this is not like materialism, but if you read into motivating factors, like amongst individual fascists, okay, like fascist figureheads historically, narcissistic resentment is a major driving force every single time, whether it be Mussolini or Adolf Hitler or even Donald Trump. It is a huge driving principle. They get bullied, they're fucking losers, everyone tells them that they're fucking losers, and they're on a vengeance quest to prove everyone wrong or to dominate all of those who have...
Did that... Maybe I would need to read something more specifically about Hitler, but my understanding is that was not necessarily Hitler's, or not from a place of narcissism, but maybe, I don't know.
Called them fucking losers. These are very insecurity-driven ideologies.
I don't know why I say that when I know I've read more than Hassan has on Hitler, but...
And yes, Mussolini being a violinist or not being as good... Mussolini being a failed violinist. I guess I'm trying to really make this meme stick at this point. Or Adolf Hitler dropping out or not being able to get into art school is not dissimilar to the Trump route that we're seeing right now. In my head...
Hitler not getting into art school is not the motivating factor behind everything that he did in his life. I don't even know if that was a major factor. I don't think it was, but...
Canon, Donald Trump absolutely would have loved being a Broadway musical producer and get the admiration from all of the New York society elites, all the art producers. Sebastian Stan said the same thing when he was doing press for The Apprentice, the movie where he plays Trump from the 80s, not the TV show. Oh yeah, it's a great movie, by the way. Mussolini got kicked out of the Socialist Party, so that works. That's part of it, yeah. The contemporary version of this also is the incel army. I think that's how a lot of, like, I think confidence, or rather lack of confidence, and insecurity is one of the greatest driving force historical fascist movements and contemporary fascist movements. Straight up.
The city. I think this mayor can do some things that are going to be really great.
Mr. President, you. Thank you, Mr. President. You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays.
Wait, what do you mean by New York elite? Because New York billionaires like Bill Ackman, Hayes Zoran? What? Dude, you think Donald Trump likes Bill Ackman? No, I'm talking about like the movers and shakers of culture. Not Bill Ackman. Nobody worth a damn respects Bill Ackman. I'm talking about the cultural elite. And I'm talking about old money, okay?
Cultural elite. Are we moving away from materialism for all of this analysis then, or?
Like Anderson Cooper's family, okay? The Vanderbilts. If you believe in great man theory, sure. No, I don't believe in great man theory at all. Contradictions understand capital also contribute. No, we're talking about the socialites. Anna Wintour. People like that. Like art, the creators of art, the creators of culture, the movers and shakers, not some random like cryptocurrency charlatans or anything. Donald Trump, I mean, when I say Graydon Carter, the sissy Graydon Carter, that's because Donald Trump talks about the sissy Graydon Carter. You know what I mean? Like that's a genuine point of animosity for him. That's something that occupies a lot of space in his fucking mind. It sounds stupid, but it's true. He wants the people working at Condé Nast to like him. Yeah, I think the noise gate is finally working, by the way. I don't know how I fucking made it work. Andrew Lloyd Webber's up there. Donald Trump has praised Andrew Lloyd Webber. Andrew Lloyd Webber used to live in Trump Tower. Donald Trump talked about how great it was that Andrew Lloyd Webber lived in Trump Tower. He talked about how shitty it is that like some of these guys still like him, but they can't say it publicly. You know, you can never say you like Trump. Like, that's the type of shit. Phantom of the Opera. It was so beautiful. Hold on, I'm going to pull this back a little bit.
Tremendous setback for the city. I think this mayor can do some things that are going to be really great.
Mr. President, you. Thank you, Mr. President. You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to, but you used to call New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would.
Woo! That is, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, that's such a good question and such a good answer. Oh my Lord, what are my ears hearing right now? What is coming out of this man's mouth? He said, yes, I would. Oh, that's an endorsement, folks. Donald Trump is endorsing woke Sharia. He's endorsing global jihad. He's endorsing Islamo-Gauchism. He's endorsing Islamo-communism. God damn, dude. Are you fucking serious? Are you be for real right now? Oh my Lord.
I don't know any mean. Plenty of fucking leftists despise me. I assume, including this fucking guy. I don't know anything about him. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he likes Zoran Mamdani. But he hates me. Mean. Plenty of...
Okay. Our queen. But not really. And I'm going to stop saying queen because I think some of you fucking retards actually think she's like improving her politics or something.
Hi, everyone. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher. Corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interests. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign war.
Aren't you saying this was a threatening fight for Trump? Seems like he won pretty easy. What do you think the win is? If I had to guess, has she announced any other office yet? My guess is she's going to try to run for governor of Georgia. That'd be my guess. As there are talks of, I don't know what the Georgian political scene looks like, but I know that for next year the governor's seat is up for re-election. Or I don't know when the next senator election in Georgia is either. Next, senator elections, Georgia. Is also next year. Is it for one seat or both? I don't know how they normally rotate these.
With your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster, but instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas, just sit. They all sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points. Because they know how much credit card debt they have, they know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years, they actually do their own grocery shopping and no food costs too much, their rent has increasingly gone up and up, they have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house, they have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement, the college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary like outside the New York courthouse and collect fees replacing American jobs, AI state moratoriums, debt for life states, whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God who created everything in existence. You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility. My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of nonstop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day. It has been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family, but it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn, be expected to defend the president against impeachment way too much. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn, be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me.
Damn.
It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. There is no plan to save the world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it.
Wow.
Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
Apparently January 5th is her pension cutoff date, so she gets her little 5-year pension. And then, I don't know, I feel like she's going to try to run for future office. I wonder if she'll try to grab a job at like Fox News or something. Because she'd be a hot media figure. There must be people that are like trying desperately to get her on their network or whatever. The Time article said that she talked to allies about running for president. That would be no. I mean, I would support it. Or I mean, I guess she could try her hands in the primaries and see how it goes. This whole speech is full of digs at Trump. Yeah, I think she's probably totally out of the Trump orbit, which is kind of pretty crazy. That's Trump's biggest, or one of the biggest, or most outspoken, I should say, allies in Congress. I don't know if you'd necessarily say she's a bigger ally than like Mike Johnson, but yeah. Damn.
This is one of the...
What happens if you throw sand into a jet engine? Why? Brandon.
Hey guys, my name is Brandon Buckingham.
Are you serious?
Pains me to,
Really? This is the audio we're getting?
My name
Okay.
is Brandon Buckingham, and it really pains. Hey guys, my name is Brandon Buckingham, and it really pains me to write this, but I feel obligated to only because I have an 11-month-old baby who is taken care of by my beautiful stay-at-home wife, who I provide for.
Damn, I didn't know you had a baby. Damn.
4 days ago, I woke up not knowing where I was, completely deaf. My feet were swollen, and I was in severe pain. I was rushed to urgent care and eventually the ICU. I was very disoriented, confused, and unable to breathe. The initial diagnosis was acute systolic heart failure, kidney failure, and liver failure, all things brought on by heart failure. The diagnosis was acute systolic heart failure, kidney failure, and liver failure, all things brought on by
Heart failure, kidney failure, and liver failure. That's a lot of organs.
pneumonia and subsequent sepsis or possibly tuberculosis. The good news is they no longer think I have tuberculosis. The bad news is my heart is still failing, and my lungs and kidneys are still in very rough shape. I don't know what's going to happen to me, but I know for sure if I do survive, it will be a very long recovery, and I will not be able to provide for my family for at least several months if things go well. A cardiology specialist informed me that
I don't think complete organ failure comes just from drinking, though. My guess is that when certain organs start to fail, then that can roll over into other organs failing, would be my guess. Like if you have like liver failure, that might cause like kidney failure, which would, like, everything kind of like snowballs at that point, I think. You need your organs to do their job.
be on bed rest for 2 to 4 months. And as I recover from this very scary, life-threatening illness, I will need help with things like my mortgage, utilities, baby supplies, and the over $100,000 in medical debt I've racked up while dealing with this nightmare.
Damn.
I will also likely need to be on heart medication the rest of my life.
Damn.
I've never asked for help before, but my heart is currently only working at 15 to 20%. So if anyone out there cares, please consider donating to my GoFundMe to help me provide until I am able to work again, as well as help pay off the medical bills I've racked up. And if you aren't able to donate, please consider by watching my videos, as I won't be able to upload new ones for a while. Thank you for all your love and prayers. This has been one of the scariest times of my life, and all your support has meant the world to me.
The phone is a text message to Jeffrey Epstein. Just kidding. Damn.
Hey guys, my name
Are people just being retarded, or do we know that he was an alcoholic or whatever? I think we know that he was an alcoholic. Like, I don't think it's like a secret. I think it's like an addiction that he's wrestled with for a while, but I don't know if he did any other drugs or anything. You met this guy at the gun thing with Tom, right? Yeah, he's in that friend group. He was the one who was beefing with Sneeko a long time ago. Turning Point leader pleads guilty to attempted election fraud. Former GOP state representative Austin Smith was caught submitting fake signatures in his re-election campaign. Forged more than 100 signatures on his petition for re-election last year. Man, how are you going to try to win an election if you can't even get the signatures for your campaign? Was a member of the far-right Arizona Freedom Caucus, which has a history of spreading false claims of election fraud in the 2020 presidential election, and pushed for election law changes in the state legislature. As a part of his guilty plea today, Smith admitted signing the name of a deceased woman on one of his candidate nomination petitions in March of 2024. He also admitted that he attempted to deceive the Secretary of State's office by knowingly filing petitions containing forged signatures of purported supporters of his nomination for the Republican primary for state representatives from LD 29. Dude looked so healthy a few months ago. Spent 4 days in Culiacan, the heart of Sinaloa, Mexico. I don't know. The area is currently in the midst of an intense cartel war. I didn't feel much, but we helped provide impoverished children with the necessary equipment and a facility to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Nice. We're done reading these, okay? I don't need to read every single... Oh, no, wait. This is the same one we read earlier. Right? Wait. Another one? Oh, Ava is now coming out with their stuff. I'm not reading this. I'm only doing these 1-2 pages. That all changed one day when Shayy made a weird comment out of the blue towards her. Sheesh, Auto Masher might be livid. Also, I don't know who else to tell, but I got MDS for the first time today 4 times. That skip sucks, but I'm so proud of myself. I don't know what the fuck it was. Yo, good puppy. Holy moly. Why? Out of nowhere, Shayy would call her a good puppy. Ava made no advances on Shayy before this point, and none of their conversations remotely referenced this kind of language. Why respond positively? Why not just... These people really are smashing their keyboards. Okay. I'm good. This guy says he knew Brandon, and he's not an alcoholic. Uh-oh. He won't be the same, and with his clearly chronic addiction, he will go right back to drinking. He's not making it out of this one way or another. He needed help a long time ago. He is not a chronic alcoholic at all. I've known Brandon for over 24 years, and he's never been much of a drinker. He might drink in videos for content, but drank far less than most of us did in our town growing up and throughout our 20s. He does have chronic Lyme disease that has caused him several issues in the past. He's also been to areas in Syria and Lebanon within the last year that are currently dealing with several epidemics. I can guarantee that this is not related to alcohol-induced organ failure. Tuberculosis has an average incubation period of 2 years and will typically remain latent for a decade. Damn, is that true? Wait, I had no idea. It literally said in the video that the organ failure was a result of TB. Oh, okay. What's your issue with Lyme's disease again? Chronic Lyme's disease is not a real thing. It's like a made-up meme thing for people with a vague collection of symptoms that they either do have or don't have. TB generally affects the lungs. It can affect other parts of the body. Most infections show no symptoms, in which case it is known as inactive or latent tuberculosis. A small proportion of latent infections progress to active disease that, if left untreated, can be fatal. It's when people have active TB, they cough. Damn. Oh, I didn't know that. Jesus. Why are we talking about this? Because the Brandon Buckingham guy was like a content creator that is apparently dying, maybe, in the hospital. Candace Owens. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In a just world, by the way, Candace would be done as a news anything. The fact that she got a troll email and claimed that that multiple times like verified in different ways the authenticity of that troll email that clearly she didn't verify at all. Like I don't know how anybody would have any credibility for her whatsoever. How could you believe a single thing she says? You don't get total organ failure from alcohol by 30 years old. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's, I don't know. I don't know how the progression of the disease is. I will say that when I hung out with Brandon, I want to say there were so many bags of cocaine and then just straight fucking, I think he was drinking absinthe. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't make up something about a guy that's dying. I'm sorry. I don't think I saw him drink a single time when we were hanging out for the gun shooting thing. Now, maybe alcoholics drink in secret or something, but I don't know how long ago that was, but there was no indication. Now, for an alcoholic, I don't think you'll ever know if they're drunk. I couldn't tell with with a couple alcoholics I met. I can never really tell they're drunk because they're fucking alcoholics. But I mean, we went out to eat a few times. I never saw him drink ever. I never saw him talk about alcohol or anything else. Turkey Tom might know better than me. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, maybe you'd smell it a lot on their breath. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team in National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I am told there is one Israeli that is on this assassination squad and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Poussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since this source claims our leaders are aware, but I have more specific information, which is definitely verifiable. Should they care to reach out to me? You're going to wait for the U.S. government to reach out to you when there are credible assassination? Okay. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their life, may God bless you truly. Let all be revealed. Why would you even reveal that they were French? Or maybe she's lying about the source. I don't know if this will happen ever in my lifetime or if we're just done having serious conversations about politics, but I pray for the day that all these comedians and pop culture fucking losers are done talking about political stuff ever. This is fucking wild. I'm hoping this isn't true, but if it is, they should know that taking out Candace Owens will turn all of us into Candace Owens. Dave Smith. What a fucking retard. How the fuck could you even take this seriously? Like, this is like one day after she got caught lying about the most retarded shit in the world. You think this is that the French government is using a multinational assassination squad to go after fucking Candace Owens?